So, in looking in Canadians' attitudes towards abortion issues, I came across the stat that says 1/3 of Canadians think human life should receive legal protection only from the point of birth. And so that got me thinking. What I would like to know is why. Why is it that at the moment of a human being exits the womb, does it suddenly deserve protection from the state? Why does it suddenly become a societal concern? Why does it suddenly go from a private individual concern of the mother to a collective concern of the state? More importantly, why does the mother now have to answer to the state now that the human being is no longer inside her? Ultimately, this is a question of property rights, but I'll have other questions as well. And so let us try a thought experiment. Currently, in Canada, there are no legal restrictions on abortion from conception to birth. And I am a scientific genius, and I'm able to make babies outside the womb. And I want to capitalize on my genius and my method by providing individuals with the joys of raising children without the hassles of needing a partner and pregnancy. I pay women for their eggs and men for their sperm, and other people pay me to make a baby for them, using other people's eggs and sperm. Sometimes they wish to use their own eggs or sperm or some combination of that, but often they choose to go with the option of using outside sperm and eggs, depending on the DNA of that. From the moment I begin creating a baby in my lab, they are unable to be cared for outside of that lab for 9 months. After that, the buyer is welcome to come and get their baby, and I release all rights to them. So the one question I would like to ask here is, ought I have the same right to end the life of that human up until the time I release it to the buyer? Let's push the thought experiment a little further. Let's say I create a home baby making kit anyone can purchase for $9.99, reduced from $29.99. Now, anyone can be a parent anytime they like. The same restriction applies. The baby cannot survive off the kit for the first 9 months. At what point can they decide to unplug their baby making kit? Anytime? In both of these cases, is there any legal status granted to the human before the time it is able to survive independent of the lab or home machine? That seems to be the criteria: survivability independent of a visibly direct biological connection. The way it is now, the baby is connected to the mother dependent on that visibly direct biological connection for its continued survival. It is after that the cord is cut and that visibly direct biological connection is broke that we say it has rights. But of course a baby can't survive on its own. The connection is still there. It just isn't that visibly direct biological connection. This all begs the question, what is it about a visibly direct biological connection that determines rights or lack thereof? One could say that in both the lab and home kit case, there is a want on part of the buyer, whereas in reality of life, there is a want of sex, but not the want of the result of sex, that is pregnancy, much like that with an STD. But that fails to address the reality that no such criteria of want is required with abortion. One can just choose to not want at any point. There is no law that states if you originally wanted to be pregnant, then 2 months later choose to abort, that you have committed a wrong somehow. So want is not a criteria for assigning rights, at least in this case. So I think this brings up some interesting questions if we think about these other thought experiments. And who knows, and this comes down to bioethics, really, is what it's all about. But in the future, this very well may be this way. Who knows? And the questions will remain. So that's all I have for right now. So peace out, my brothers, sisters, and everyone between. Tell me what you think.